Hi guys, welcome to runout.tv. I just want to give you a few thoughts on the World Championship Final, which was won by Mark Selby. First of all, brilliant that he won. I've known about Mark Selby ever since it was 1999. When I started university, he was a 15-year-old professional. And I remember thinking, wow, you know, fancy making a living from snooker at the age of 15. I had to go to uni and have a normal life, you know. And I was always a bit of a player, but not really so good at snooker. I was more of a pool player. And just the idea of, you know, living your life playing snooker and pool just seemed amazing to me. And I knew I wasn't good enough, and I used to drive to Lincoln from up in the northeast where I'm from, and we used to pass Selby, the town. And whenever I did, I used to always think about how's this kid doing. I used to look him up on the internet and see he was doing okay. He was winning a few games. He wasn't doing, you know, he wasn't setting the world on fire so much. But then gradually he started to come into the four, maybe 2005, 2006, you started seeing him. And then, of course, he won the World Pool Championships in 2006, which hasn't really been mentioned when he won the World Snooker title now. And everyone was like, yeah, this lad's, you know, a really good player. And he pretty much immediately then broke through and he got to the final of the World Snooker Championships in 2007. And it's amazing when you look back to the footage, he looks so young. I suppose we all aged a lot since then, I certainly have. And he gave John Higgins a really good match, I think it was. Came back from behind, very similar to what he did to Ronnie O'Sullivan in this match, but he never quite managed to catch him. I think the key for Ronnie in this match was he never quite got further than he perhaps should have done when he was 10-5, and it was the last two frames of the session. If he'd have won those two, 12-5, it's such a long way back. But Selby managed to win those two frames, went in 10-7 down, very much in the game, was able to build on that the next day. And of course the big turning point, looking back, when Ronnie missed that pink. And I think Selby's style, I think it's been a little bit overplayed in terms of why the match went the way it did. I think the key thing was, if you actually watch the match, is that Selby really didn't miss a lot of balls. You know, when he was in, he was making 60s and 70 breaks, frame-winning breaks. And when he was breaking down, you know, we weren't getting the big one-frame breaks. And it's easy to say that that's like down to one player stopping the other guy from playing. But Ronnie was in quite a few times and just didn't clear up. He just didn't get the big breaks that we're used to seeing. It's one of these things with Ronnie, when he plays very well, everyone says he's unstoppable. And he is, you know, but then so is everybody else. Ronnie, we know, can knock in hundreds over and over and over. But you never see a match where a player's knocking in just like 6-7 centuries in 7 frames. You just don't see that. So I think sometimes that's a little bit sort of looked at in hindsight. If Ronnie's made lots of fantastic breaks, he's classed as the genius who can't miss. And then when he's not playing so well, the other guys ground him down. And I think sometimes it's not about that. It's just about whether or not you get the balls in. He had a few strokes of luck. Selby rode his luck quite a few times where he was rolling safe over and over. But overall, I think the right guy won. He was fantastic. The last session was just an amazing example of someone who was running around the table. If you look at the frame before he won the title, where he went to 17-14 up. When he was 16-14, he went to 17-14 up. And he was swaggering around the table with such a smooth cue action. You thought, this lad really believes he can do this. He's really going to do this. He might even have been 17-13, I'm not sure. But anyway, O'Sullivan in the last frame had a chance to close it out, made a silly positional error. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to make the shots, and he's absolutely good enough to do it, but he just didn't. And Selby, you know, that clearance to win the title, I mean, it's the stuff that dreams are made of, isn't it? You've got 6 balls on the table, you get down to the black, you need that for the world title. You know, he'll practice that in his mind hundreds of times, and then he gets to do it. And you think about what he's achieved. At the end of the day, he's beaten Neil Robertson, you know, probably easily one of the most talented players in the world. If anything, he's underrated because he's just that good, Robertson. You watch where the balls go in the pockets, a dead centre every single time. His aim and his cue action are just so straight. It's unbelievable. This kid has got everything. I think when you watch him queuing up, and I remember a criticism from years and years ago, like I said, I've always been aware of him as a player. And he used to have, I think, a 2-second pause when he did his backswing. And everyone was like, how can this kid play? And if you watch him queue up, you'll see that there's a little bit of that going on, there's a little bit of swaying going on. and you're like, but the key thing is, watch when he goes to deliver the cue, everything's in a straight line, and that comes from natural talent, but also hours and hours and hours of practice. So that's about it, guys. Just hope you're still enjoying the channel. I hope you still check out my virtual pool 4 videos. I am planning on doing a few more online games in the near future. I've been doing a lot of things. I now manage a Sunday League team, or co-manage a Sunday League team in the northeast, so that keeps me kind of busy. I'm doing a bit more variety in my life now, because I was in danger of just doing VP4, and I've also got my new queue just over there when I'm trying to get the old contacts in to go and play normal pool, get myself back into that. I don't think I'll be going back on any pro tour or anything like that. I'd like to think that maybe I can get good enough to maybe go to a couple of tournaments a year. That would be nice. But I don't think you're going to see us back on any sort of ranked tour. Certainly not 9 ball, so I wasn't good enough. Hopefully, if you get a chance to watch out for us on the VP4 online, it's Mal255. Congratulations to Mark Selby. I'm sure he won't watch this, but I'm very pleased that he won. I think either of the finalists, I'd be happy to see them win, including, to be honest, Neil Robertson. I'll be very, very delighted to see him win again. And look forward to the new season. There's a lot of snooker on TV with the PTCs. We are spoiled now with TV coverage, and it bodes well. So I think we're going to see Selby win a lot more things, and proven once again that he's an absolutely quality player, and it's a pleasure to say he's world champion. So thank you for watching, guys. Congratulations to Selby, and we'll see you next time on runout.tv. Thanks for watching.